Hi Vivek, thanks so much for coming, and I'm really looking forward to this panel. I think it's so timely and so important, particularly in any domain, but particularly in the FinTech domain. Obviously, security is a really big issue. I was wondering what your main passion is, what led you to develop this startup?
Thank you for having me. So, during my career, both when I was working at companies like Cisco and Intuit, as well as my consulting career, I sort of noticed some repeated patterns in security. And a lot of it has to do with people not having the right information at the right time. So there were some barriers to information sharing and collaboration. Uh, Most of the folks I worked with were all exceptional professionals, definitely the top of the game. But just having the silos that are naturally there in the enterprise world prevented people from being able to collaborate powerfully and share information, and which has led to, I would say, a lessening of the security posture, which could have been prevented. So one of the passions that I had was to kind of rethink security as a collaborative framework and definitely have more stakeholders beyond just IT and the corporate security office, because security does affect everybody. And definitely now we live in a cloud connected, bring your own device world in the enterprise. So it is even more critical to kind of look towards AIM and employees as partners in security and have this collaborative process. And that's one of the big motivations for us to go out and do a startup in security.
That's so cool because I think there's some truth in that in a lot of systems, that when there's collaboration, there's more power and more overview, I guess. Yeah. So tell me, where do you think we are at this point as far as security and FinTech, and where do we need to be in the future, and how are we going to get there?
So we are, I would say, in a brave new world, which is both fascinating as well as terrifying at the same time. Of course, the fascinating aspects, all the excitement going around with fintech startups, and the banks themselves have started to open up a lot more. They're sharing their APIs, they're doing hackathons and innovation challenges, even sharing some of their core data. Now, on the flip side of this, of course, there's always security concerns, people abusing the data, and of course all the new cyber attacks that we keep hearing about. So I think given where we are, there would fundamentally be a huge rethinking of security, especially within financial services, which not just looks at bottom-up security, which has been in the industry for a while now, but also inside-out security, and to kind of truly think about how do we think of our fintech partners as collaborators, and how do we rethink our security posture, and how do we quantify our risk better? That goes beyond just traditional IT terminology.
So that stays with the collaborative theme, which is very nice. Okay. Do you have a funny story as a founder in a startup that you could share with us?
Sure. So it wasn't at this startup, but before this, I decided to go to a consumer startup. So I wasn't a co-founder. I was one of the early employees. So it was a group of young male engineers. It was all entirely tech heavy. And we were doing a startup which had eventually pivoted into a fashion tech, so high-end fashion for women. Okay, and I distinctly remember once, we run these nightly analytics, and we come in the morning, and one of the most trending items was a clutch. So, and I was the only one who drove a car, and everyone else kind of commuted. So I walk in, and they're like, "Hey, the clutch is trending. What's a clutch?" And we're all going around looking at each other. What's a clutch? Okay, so we actually Googled what a clutch was, because the only clutch I knew was in the car. So, and needless to say, we were an analytics-heavy team, but unfortunately, we didn't make it on the business side. But now we know why.
That's so great. Thank you for sharing that. That's a wonderful story. Look, thanks for coming, and I'm so looking forward to this panel. I think we've got some really amazing people on the panel, and it is such a there's such a need for this in FinTech at the moment. So I appreciate you coming.
Thank you so much. I'm looking forward to the panel. Thanks.